And welcome into Extra Time, a weekly video podcast with Fox 4 and FC Naples as we take you behind the scenes every week for the first season of professional soccer in Southwest Florida. I'm Ryan Kruger, and we're doing things a little differently this week. So, FC Naples is off this weekend. And remember, last weekend, their match against AV Alta, that was postponed due to travel delays. Now, coming up next week, they have two big matches on the road. First, in the middle of the week, they're going to travel up to Tennessee to take on the Chattanooga Red Wolves before heading up north to Portland, Maine for a match on Saturday. So this week, I'm going to introduce you to two members of the front office to find out how this team has had so much success so quickly and been embraced by the Collier County community. First, you're going to hear from Reese Planson, and you're going to find out pretty quickly he's originally from England, came to the U.S. to try to spread the love of soccer everywhere. And then you're going to meet Alessandro Martin. He's a local kid, grew up here in Naples, and then decided he wanted to take an internship with FC Naples, and it just skyrocketed from there.
And I got contacted by Roberto stating that there had been a team starting up in Naples. And so I thought to myself, am I about to move to Italy? And I was like, well, lucky me, eh? and then it's no, Naples, Florida. And then I'd never heard of it. Mm-hmm. And so did a little Google, nicest place to live in America. I was like, gorgeous white sand beaches and palm trees and sunshine. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good place to make a team.
Yeah, exactly.
So after hearing his vision and like his excitement, you know, he was like a child explaining something he's really excited about, and then I could see that he was in love with this idea, this project that he had planned for this community, and the fact that it's something that as soon as I heard that, it was something that I wanted to feed on as well, and it was something that meant a lot to me because football's everything growing up. Mm-hmm. It gives young lads opportunities to. It gives all young children opportunities that, you know, they wouldn't have in their everyday life. It gives every child an equal opportunity, so to speak. And so to be able to come and make that kind of project here, it was amazing. And so I kind of fed off the energy that Roberto had there.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel? What's amazing when you watch the games, you'll see the energy at Paradise Coast Sports Complex with FC Naples, all of the supporters group, all of the fans that are out there. And then if you watch the games on TV, like the away games, and some of them they've got great crowds, some they really don't. There's not as much community buy-in. Yeah. How is it that you've been able to get such buy-in from the community for this team?
So I think we really do have an amazing front office crew. Like everyone, like I'll kind of piggybacking on what I just said about the shared vision, everyone is kind of like all hands on deck to make sure everything runs smoothly and that we're all on the same page with the community aspect of our team. It's making sure that we make an appearance at every event that we can. We make sure that we state like, hey, like affordable price points. You know, we are like 65% of our season tickets are $20 or less per game, and so it just to be able to touch the community in certain aspects and kind of be all inclusive to every single member of our society. It invites people in. Mm-hmm. Like it ends up being a no-brainer. It starts off as this is a team. Maybe there's nothing else to do. I'll come to the games. And then they kind of see like the way they're received at games. They see like the energy from other people who are already fallen in love with football. And so I think we've been very, very successful with making new fans and like introducing people to the sport.
Oh yeah, I have multiple people I've spoken with who maybe they went to the first match, you know, because it was a new thing, and they found themselves. Yeah. Like, I've gone to all three games. Like, oh, okay, so you're a big fan.
Yeah,
now.
Something about that first game that I loved was obviously as an FC Naples fan now, because I'm an avid diehard fan of FC Naples. The first game, Tyler Pasnick's header in the 92nd, 93rd minute, should have been a 2-1 win. He was onside. However, that goal being called off, like people in Naples, like Naples just won. But then as soon as it goes, nope, offside, Naples just goes, huh? Oh, I see people in the crowd out here going, hey, hey, what's that about? Hey, what's going on? Hey, ref, hey, and stuff like that. And then and everyone's going, oh, like other people in the crowd are educating them, saying, oh, it was offside. Like, what do you mean offside? What does that even mean? And it's like, and then that causes them to kind of go like, oh, what's that about? Like, you took a goal away from Naples. You took that goal away from our community, and like to break it down, it's like it was Tennessee versus Florida. and you took a goal away from Florida. And that's how a lot of our fans see it. And that's kind of how you approach a lot of things, because that's how football is all over the world as well. You know, if it's Chelsea versus Arsenal, it's not really, it's Chelsea versus Arsenal, but it's North London versus South London. You know, it's Manchester City, Manchester United, two different sides of the city.
Right.
And so it's like kind of like locational. When you approach things like that, a lot of people kind of, they can rally behind something because everyone lives here. And so it's like, oh, they took it away from Naples. Huh? What? Okay, well, next time we're going to get them. Okay, we'll see you at the next game then, because we need that support again.
Right.
And so like that kind of like that approach really has been great to kind of introduce people to the sport and kind of, be it like a Ted Lasso introduction for them.
That's right. Well, and speaking of Ted Lasso, just speaking of soccer in America, because you've sort of seen this explosion. The USL League One didn't exist, not even a decade ago.
Yeah.
So there's been this explosion, and you're starting to attract international talent that's coming down here, which I would imagine 10 years ago, there was probably a little bit of I don't want to go play in America, but it really doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And there's a ton of homegrown talent now. So from your perspective, as somebody who grew up with this sport and you're seeing America sort of embrace it a little bit, what's that been like?
Oh, it's amazing. Like genuinely, even since I've been here since 2018, it's kind of been this, you hear a lot of like the MLS is a retirement home. You hear like USL Championship. People outside of America don't know what that is. And it's like, well, that's not really true, because you've got people, you've got people from all over the world playing the USL Championship, and you've got even Didier Drogba played in the USL Championship, played for Phoenix Rising, and he's one of the owners of the team as well. So it's like you can't say that the USL Championship isn't anything when you have these kind of caliber of players that have played in there. And nowadays, look at the amount of numbers that we're getting at USL League One games. Like the fact that this is the third, the way people view it is the third tier of professional soccer in America, and the fact that we sold out our first game with a stadium of just under 5,000 people. Like that, those kind of numbers don't happen. Like 10 years ago, if you said USL League One would get that, people were like, no way.
Yeah.
Absolutely no chance. But yeah, like the fact that soccer is growing here is just so exciting. I've been saying it for so long. Well, like America, like in the next 30 years should be competing for a World Cup.
Wow.
100%.
Okay.
If the pay-to-play system changes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how it's all other countries kind of adopt the talent-based rather than like the money-based. So once like America adopts that, I think America's gonna have no problem competing for stuff, because America's got the best athletes, don't they? They do, like, genuinely. You look at high schoolers here, and I'm like, well, yeah, he's 15.
Yeah.
He's like 7 foot tall. Like, stuff like that. So people,
and it's such a big country too.
So
you've got a lot of people, a much bigger talent pool to pull.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And so I think like at this point, like we're getting to a point where soccer is gonna kind of topple over into America's top sports. It's gonna be within the next like decade. It will be spoken up with the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, NHL, because it's the greatest sport in the world.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing in the world, to me at least, and it's growing in America finally. It's finally getting that surge, and the MLS is no longer a retirement home. Evidently, you have players in their prime that are going over to the MLS now, and it's highly competitive. It's like the jump that it's made is so amazing to see. And in my short time in America, I've only been here 7-8 years, and so the fact that it's taken the jump it has is amazing. I can't wait to see what it's like with the promotion relegation coming up.
Yeah. Are you still an intern? Or
No.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Hey, okay.
Yes, no, I have stepped up into a full-time role with FC Naples.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And that was part of because you always wanted to work in sports.
Yes, sir.
And you grew up in Naples.
Yes, sir.
So it was sort of perfect.
It all, I say with any sports team, you have to let it grow naturally and let it form naturally. You can't just pour a bunch of money and expect it to have a sustainable life. And so everything just kind of happened perfectly at the perfect time, and I was very fortunate to take a full-time role with FC Naples. So yeah.
And I mean, you are Naples to your core. I think you said your parents own a restaurant on Fifth Avenue, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they owned a restaurant for 25 years on Fifth Avenue, so I have seen Naples for 20 years now of my life grow into a city, and
Mhm.
it's amazing.
Yeah. And you know, it's a small town, but at the same time, you're starting to get, now you got a professional soccer team. Obviously you've always had the restaurants and the amenities that
Right.
Naples has been known for. So you're starting to branch out to where you can really appeal to everybody.
Most definitely. And again, just with the soccer team now here, it really allows us to put Naples on the map for a new reason, more than just the beaches and the fine dining and the luxury. You can come out and enjoy a soccer game with a professional team and get behind something now together. Because, before this, it was we would get behind high school football teams, and they're fun, they're amazing, don't get me wrong. But now we have something for the whole city and all of Southwest Florida collectively to come behind. And so far, it's been amazing, and we don't want to let our fans down starting now.
Because you grew up here, you probably have a good pulse on this. I mean, did you sort of see this this craving for soccer? Because it seems like out of nowhere the team started and boom, you're selling out every game.
So I was very fortunate to graduate high school in 2022. So I'm still in college online and working this full-time job. So my ear is still to the ground here in Naples. And for a while, we've seen a lot of change in Naples to allow everyone to enjoy soccer. And I think that there's been so many kids recently that have been playing in the past decade here. And that's because we started to finally invest into soccer in this community. And because of that, now we're allowed to have a soccer team, and it's been amazing.
So many people who live in Naples and Southwest Florida, they either moved here from somewhere else or maybe their parents did. So a lot of
Right.
times, because sports are always tough down here, because everybody kind of has their own team from
Yes.
either where they grew up or where their family grew up. So, and we've never had our own team down
Right.
here. So it is this unique opportunity that the team has of we're the only ones that are here for you, and nobody else has a USL League One team from back home that they
No,
root
correct.
for. So
Yes.
it's a huge benefit for them.
Most definitely, just to have, the USL down here in Naples, and again, as you said, a team down here in Naples. Our goal now is to show the people who might be here part-time or are moving here full-time that there is someone for you to support and a team for you to get behind. And I think my main job is just to get out in the city and show that we are a community-based team and we want to give back to this community as much as we can, because without all these people moving here and wanting, to play soccer and it growing in this country and state, we wouldn't be here.
Mhm.
We would not be here without the fans. And so that's why, our main priority is to give back to them and show them our thanks by putting on a great show every Saturday.
And what are your thoughts on? There's been this unbelievable explosion in not only interest, but with that will come. That means that kids are going to be playing, right? And that
Right.
means that they're going to go towards soccer versus other sports because in the last, let's say, decade or so, the athletes that we have playing soccer in the U.S. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of American talent play in Europe at the highest levels. You have Weston McKennie and Timothy Weah playing for Juventus. So there's a lot of different Americans playing at that top level. And I think the more this country invests into the soccer infrastructure through be that MLS teams, USL teams, but also allowing them to grow their team into the youth and partnering with young academies, letting them see it and grow and learn. I think that we will most definitely be competing. It was talked about earlier, but we will definitely be competing in a World Cup in the next 30 years because we have the best athletes. And if you just give them a generation to focus solely on soccer, they will 100% do amazing.
And it does seem like soccer does this better than any other sport where there's such a focus on like the small local town,
Right.
right? So where it's not just like the big regional. I mean, if you look at if you look at England, for instance, you've got a ton of Premier League teams, but then every single little hamlet and village has its own team as well. And that's sort of what FC Naples is representing. It's the kids in Naples who are going to school there. That's their team.
Most definitely. And again, that just touches back to being a community team. Our goal is to just focus on our community because again, they're the people who have gotten us to where we are and we wouldn't be able to do it without them. And so I think it allows for just an amazing journey for a fan's experience to become affiliated with a new team and see them grow just with themselves. And it's an amazing experience for who knows in 30 years, we don't know where FC Naples will be.
Join us every week on Extra Time.